Robert Earl, digitalagentshow.com, and in this video I'm going to show you the steps required to get your Arkansas real estate license. Now there's 4 main steps that you have to go through, but the devil's in the details, so let's jump in and talk about that. The first step is you have to meet minimum requirements in order to get a Arkansas real estate license. You have to be 18 years of age in order to be able to sign up for the course and be able to become licensed. You could start the course just before you're 18, but in order to get licensed when you submit in your application, you have to be 18 years or older. Now, step 2 is you have to complete the Arkansas real estate license education requirements. And these requirements are a 60-hour real estate course. 30 hours of those course are going to be basic principles of real estate. They're going to teach you the facts, the figures, the terminology of going through the course. Now, as you're starting to think about getting into real estate, there's 2 things that you have to budget. 1 is your time, and 2 are your finances. Because when you sign up for the course, you're going to have 6 months to be able to complete the course. So there's where you have to look at that as to a time frame. Are you going to be able to study and go through the 60 hours? I would encourage you to not, I repeat, not take the full 6-month period. Because if you're taking the full 6-month period, information that you learned in the first part of the course, you might forget by the time it comes time to sit down for the test. And the whole purpose of taking the course is to be able to pass the final exams. And I said exams, there's 2 of them. There's one that's given at the end of the course, and then the second part, which is step 3 of the process, is you have to pass the Arkansas real estate license exam. That license exam is going to be given by an independent testing center. Your final exam must also be passed at a minimum of 70%. So when you're reading the information, it's not always about learning how to sell real estate. It's going to be a lot of terminology. It's going to be a lot of information. It's going to be about financial calculations. It's going to be about surveying and how property boundaries are defined, agency, who works for who in the transaction, who works for the buyer, who works for the seller, how does a broker come into it, and where do you fit into it as a salesperson. This information you're going to have to memorize, have it where you can read multiple choice questions and be able to answer this information back A, B, C, D. So there's test taking skills as well to be able to read through and know what you're going through. A new salesperson, after they've completed the application, they must complete an 18-hour post-licensing course as well. Now, when you initially sign up for the course, I've got a link to a guide. I'm going to put it up here, a link that's going to show you how to select a real estate course. But when you're selecting that course, you may also sign up for and pay for the pre-licensing and post-licensing package at the same time. But I don't want you to get confused. You've got to complete the first portion, the 60 hours, and then go through and complete the 18 hours post-license, and that has to be done within 6 months after the time that you're licensed. Now, when you submit in the proper forms and information to the Arkansas Real Estate Commission, this all has to be done within 90 days after passing your exam. And included with this application is going to be details for a criminal background report and fingerprints. So this information we're going to be going through. The Arkansas State Police is going to conduct a background check. They're going to take your fingerprints. They're going to submit the report to the commission. If you have any questions about something that happened in your past, life happens, reach out to the Arkansas Real Estate Commission and ask them the specific questions. Would this make me ineligible for being an applicant? It's okay to ask the questions and make sure before you sign up for the course and sign up for the information. A broker or another agent's not going to be able to answer that information, nor are you going to be able to Google and get the information. You want to make sure that you reach out to the Arkansas Real Estate Commission. They're the ones that oversee all of this. So your completed application, you can make the application before you take the exam, but again, you've put yourself into a time period where it's a 6-month period that you have to complete the exam and get that information in. But you complete your application, your completed fingerprint card, your application fee, the background fee, all of this is either a cashier's check or a money order that gets submitted into the Arkansas Real Estate Commission. Now, when you're done with the exam, a good broker would be able to help you with the application process. If they're used to bringing on new agents, they're used to the process and they can help you out. And I've got a complete guide, a webinar that I did that talks about not just the licensing process, but how you get up and running and successfully trained, what questions to ask a broker. I'm going to include a link to that video as well. It'll be well worth your time and investment to go through that, and then also check out the guide to selecting a real estate school. So pretty straightforward. You're going to have a course that you have to take. It's a 60-hour course. If you're taking an online course, you can get this done fairly quickly because as you're going through the course, when you're doing your reading online, it keeps track of the time that you're spending. If you get a classroom or you get a separate textbook, when you're doing that reading, you're not getting credit for that. You're not getting the hours counted for that particular standpoint. And then the online course, as you go through the different sections, it will present you with sample test questions. I also talk about in my guide to selecting a class that whether you select a classroom or online, that you also make sure that you have an exam prep module. This exam prep module is going to help you from the standpoint of giving you sample test questions that you'd be able to pick and say, I'm giving myself 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, so that you're used to being under the time crunch, and then you can take those questions over and over again. The importance is not about getting them right. It will also give you feedback at the end of it as to which questions you got wrong and what was the right answer. This will give you guidance to go back through the materials and study and refresh and know some of the information. I like to say that you should be passing those practice exams after you've completed your course, or as you're going through it. You should be able to pass these at a 90-95% at home, so that when you go to take the final of the course and the independent test that you take, that national state exam, where you're going to be very nervous, even if you forget some information, you're still going to be passing at a 70%. When you've passed that independent test, now you can make the application, and like I said, a good broker can help you out. Now, if you need to find a broker, you can go to digitalagentshow.com. I've got a link on the homepage that will, on the sidebar, that will help you in finding a brokerage. I also have a blog post that shows you the cost that you can expect for getting up and running as a real estate agent. So I hope this has been helpful for you. We'll have other videos that will help you out in getting started in your real estate career. So please subscribe, leave a comment, and until next time, make it a great day.